Stocks advance as Apple rallies on an analyst upgrade. Stocks rose Thursday as Apple surged, but gains were capped after the Federal Reserve's latest policy announcement sparked worries about the U.S. economy. The Dow was up 75 points as a 2% gain in Apple offset a decline in J.P. Morgan Chase. Apple rose after Needham upgraded the stock to a strong buy from buy, citing value upside in the company's ecosystem. Thursday's gains, Biogen tanked more than 26% after discontinuing trials for a drug aimed at treating Alzheimer's disease. The move sent the hell. On Wednesday, the Fed said it does not expect to raise rates at all in 2019. The central bank, Fed Chair Powell, is causing anguish amongst global investors even though the initial reaction was an instant grab for equities, said Jeff Kilburg, CEO of KKM Financial. Treasury yields fell sharply on Wednesday, with the benchmark 10-year rate hitting its lowest level in a year. The yield traded at U.S. sovereign bonds are considered a less risky investment to equities and are traditionally used by investors to hedge against a potential slowdown in the economy. These moves come after a slew of negative commentary from companies like FedEx, BMW, and UBS. Earlier this week, economic data have also been largely disappointing. The Citi Economic. Still, the U.S. economy is on solid ground compared to the rest of the world, said Charlie Ripley, senior investment strategist at Allianz Investment Management. He also said, equities are on track to post a muted weekly performance, with the major indexes little changed. On top of digest, CNBC's Sylvia Amaro contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,